I think I gotta get a new chair. This one is getting old. It's like... I need a new chair.
Wild like wild.
Hello, welcome to the Wild Review. I'm a Wild Reviewer, and welcome back to Rewild, the series where I take a look back at some old Wild Review episodes, and I comment on them, because I was a young child at the time, and now I'm an adult. I am a full-grown adult. So one of the early Wild Review episodes I did back in 2015, in the Season 1 era, was a Wild Review where I sat down and went over everything that was playing on Nickelodeon at the time. This was not a video, as in I did not get in front of the camera and perform. I didn't show my face. This was done by me screen recording my computer and just talking into a microphone. Because of that, there is no specific shirt that I was wearing, so I have no need to dress the same way that I was dressing in this video. I don't know how I was dressing in the video, so I get to wear the shirt that I'm wearing today. There was a very good chance that I may have been wearing this shirt, though, while making this video. I think it was because I just had a lot of stuff I was doing that day, and I didn't feel like putting up the camera and standing in front of it and talking for about an hour. I think it was just easier for me to do it on my computer, just screen recording it. I think that was true. I can't really remember what I did that day, but I do recall doing that video when I got home from school, so that may have had something to do with it. I don't remember if I was tired, because I don't remember what happened that specific day, but here we are. So this one, I guess, will be a little different, because we're not going to sit down and actually watch the video. I mean, we'll watch the video and hear some comments. But this was more of just a list of stuff that was on Nickelodeon at the time. And what I want to do is I want to look at the list from 2015, make comments about what happened to that show at that time, and make my comment on the comment I made about that specific show. And we're going to look at Nickelodeon now and see what they got coming up, what's playing now, because I know what's on Nickelodeon, but at the same time I don't. Honestly, I'm very curious to see what is on that list. I haven't looked at that Wikipedia page in a while, and I'll honestly be really shocked to see anything that I did not know was playing on Nickelodeon at the time. I know maybe 5 different shows on Nickelodeon now. Back then they had a lot, so that's what we're going to do. We're going to compare. That's what we're doing today. Okay, first up on that list were Nicktoons. Alright, so they got SpongeBob and Fairly Odd Parents, obviously. I've already given my thing on that. They got Kung Fu Panda, oddly enough, from 2011. It's currently on hiatus. I've seen a few episodes of Kung Fu Panda. I like the movie. I've only seen the first movie, actually. I didn't see the sequel, but I mean, you know, it's alright, the show, I guess. So, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, I've seen it. It's pretty cool. I like it. I like the little story arc they did in the beginning of 3rd season. I think it's a pretty good show. It's the only actual Ninja Turtle show I've really watched. I never watched the old 80s or 90s one, so gonna get some hate on that probably. Sanjay and Craig, I've seen it. I'm not that big of a fan. It's a good premise. Rabbids Invasion, currently on hiatus. There was a new episode this morning though. I've stopped watching it. It's a little crazy. A little too crazy. I remember playing the game, one of the games, so it's like one of those shows with, like, you know, there are aliens and they're discovering everything for the first time. That is funny, but like, they do it in a childish way, so I don't know. I'm not that big of a fan. Breadwinners, I've stopped watching. I like the animation in it, but I don't know. I've stopped watching it. They play it on Nicktoons in the morning for some reason. In my opinion, I think Nicktoons should just be for, like, the old Nickelodeon shows they rarely play, but they don't do that. They're putting, like, the Haunted Hathaways on it. God. And Harvey Beaks, I've yet to watch it. Alright, we had SpongeBob, The Fairly Odd Parents, Kung Fu Panda, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the 2012 show, Sanjay and Craig, Rabbids Invasion, Breadwinners, and Harvey Beaks. I've given my opinion on SpongeBob enough, so I don't think we need to hear about that. The Fairly Odd Parents, in 2015, I think they were in the Sparky era. They had introduced Poof already, but I think that was around the time that they were still doing episodes with Sparky. And later on, they added a new character for the 10th season, a girl named Chloe Carmichael, who nobody likes. Not even the show liked her. They didn't like her so much that they changed the theme song to express how much they did not like her. I saw one episode from that era. The thing is, I stopped watching Fairly Odd Parents once Sparky really came on. I saw one Sparky episode, and I was like, nope, I can't do this. And then when they added Chloe on, I saw the first episode. I did a wild review on that episode, and that was the final Fairly Odd Parents episode I've ever seen. I did not like how they ended it. And it's a big shame, too, because Fairly Odd Parents went from airing on the Nickelodeon channel to airing on Nicktoons. And everybody knows if it goes straight to Nicktoons and episodes just start flushing out, that means it's a dead show. Kung Fu Panda, I don't remember super much about Kung Fu Panda. I do know Jack Black wasn't in that show. This was, I believe, one of the last DreamWorks shows to live on the network. Nickelodeon around the early 2010s, they had a lot of DreamWorks shows. They took popular DreamWorks animated films and made them into shows. You know, they had Penguins of Madagascar, which was very popular. They had Kung Fu Panda for a little bit. They even had Monsters vs. Aliens. But I don't remember super much about the Kung Fu Panda show. At the time, I claimed it was alright. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, I did like this show. I did like the 2012 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I watched it from beginning to end. This was my first Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles show. I gave the 2003 show a try. I wasn't a big fan of it. I have not seen the past incarnations of Ninja Turtles, specifically the one from the 80s, which I know is the classic one. I even think it's the original cartoon of the show. But this was my first incarnation of Ninja Turtles, and I really liked it. I know a few years ago they also rebooted Ninja Turtles again, which I didn't necessarily have a problem with because Ninja Turtles is one of those properties that just keeps being remade and introduced to new generations. It's put into different decades. But I've never seen it, never really cared to see it. Sanjay and Craig, I have vivid memories about. I do recall one episode where Craig introduces Sanjay as his talking snake to his parents. I also remember the Halloween episode. Sanjay and Craig, my comment was I was not a fan, but it was a good premise. Yeah, I would agree with that. Yeah, it was an interesting premise. Rabbids Invasion, I believe the show based on the video game with the rabbits. I have seen it. I do remember watching it. It was a bit of a crazy show, though. That's where that comment ends. Breadwinners was weird. It was a cute weird, but I didn't see it going anywhere. It tried being a hit, and it didn't do very well. It didn't interest me at all. The animation was good, though. I did like the animation. And Harvey Beaks, to this day I have not seen Harvey Beaks, but I heard it was great. I'm sorry I never got to check it out. I don't know where I could check it out now, because it's not on anywhere. It's been like 6 years. But I heard it was great. I heard the show had a lot of great reviews, and I am aware of the controversy that came with it after it was canceled, and how CJ Greensblatt, is that his name? The guy who made Chowder. I know how upset he was about the treatment with his show, and I think it's a shame. But I heard it was great, so I'm sorry I didn't get to see it. I'm sorry. The next segment were the Nicktoons that were moved to Nicktoons Network, and the only one was the Penguins of Madagascar. Current animated series moved to Nicktoons. Does that mean they're making new episodes, like Penguins of Madagascar? That was a pretty good show. I like it. They're still making episodes. Alright. I've never seen them. I haven't seen any, so. The final episode I remember seeing of Penguins of Madagascar was the return... No, the revenge of... The return of the revenge of Dr. Blowhole, the dolphin. So it's the evil dolphin who's Skipper's archenemy. And the episode is a musical. There's a bunch of singing involved. Also, Alex the Lion is there. That's the final episode I remember of the show. I don't remember seeing any more after that one. Alright, now we got live action. The live action Nickelodeon shows. Comedy, we got the Thundermans. That's pretty good. I like it. It's okay. Every Which Way, I said it in my Kids' Choice Awards voting video. I've never seen an episode, but I've seen clips. It looks decent, but I have no intentions on watching it. They're making, I think, like a 4th season. I don't like the fact on how they're making it a 1-month event. A lot of these shows on this list, like one of them that I've already, 2 of them I'm looking at right now, they're 1-month events. Why 1 month? Make it a normal show, like all these. Henry Danger, it's pretty good. It's by Dan Schneider. He does pretty funny work. Nicky, Ricky, Dickie, Dawn, I've watched it. I'm not hooked on it. Max and Shred. I saw the pilot. It's just a Drake and Josh reboot, honestly. It's like a poorly made Drake and Josh remake. 100 Things to Do Before High School. I've never seen one, but it's apparently by the same guy that did Ned's Declassified and Big Time Rush, so I do want to get a chance to watch it. Bella and the Bulldogs. I liked how the season ended. I kind of stopped watching it, but I saw the beginning. I saw the beginning of the show, and then I saw the season finale recently. I thought the season finale should have ended with maybe a cliffhanger. That would have been interesting. But then again, not every show needs to end on a cliffhanger, like those intense shows I watch. And Make It Pop. I saw the first episode and then I stopped. It's weird. I don't know where it's supposed to take place. Like, it's one of those schools that you live at. I just don't know the name of it. But it's weird. It's definitely a weird show. The Thundermans, and my comment was I liked the show. And I'll be honest, I did like the show. I thought it was very unique. I'll go as far as even consider it a pretty decent Nickelodeon show. Had a really interesting premise. I don't know how it ended, though. I didn't see the finale. I didn't really see much of the last season. Kind of lost touch with it, mostly because I was growing up. Every Which Way, still never saw the show. Really wasn't interested in seeing it either. I do know I made a comment that I wasn't a big fan of the episodes playing every day. I don't know why Nickelodeon did that. They just threw the whole season out in 1 month. This show had like 4 seasons, and each season had its own little month. So a show that should have gone on for 4 years, equaling those 4 seasons, it only had a 2-year lifespan. So I don't know what happened with that. I think Every Which Way was also a Spanish show. I think it was a telenovela program for children that they made into an American show. So maybe that had something to do with it, I'm not sure. Henry Danger, really good show. I still stick with that. I think it's one of the better Dan Schneider shows after Victorious and definitely after Sam and Cat. I wasn't a fan of Sam and Cat. Henry Danger, it's pretty good. It's by Dan Schneider. He does pretty funny work. Nicky, Ricky. As for that comment, Dan Schneider is a conversation for another day. A lot has happened since 2015, young man. Nicky, Ricky, Dickie, and Dawn. I said I wasn't hooked on it, but yet I remember a lot from the show. I did watch it a lot. It was up there with watching the Thundermans and Henry Danger a lot. It wasn't my favorite show, but I definitely watched it. Did I enjoy it? That's debatable. It's definitely one of the better Nickelodeon shows before most of them got bad. Max and Shred, I can't even remember what this show was. I keep mixing it up with the surfing show. Someone and Bucket. I can't even remember the name of that show. I claim I saw the pilot for Max and Shred, but I have no idea what it is. I can't remember what it was, and I guess that gives you my take on what I thought of the show. It's very forgettable. I don't know what the hell this is. I'd probably have to look it up after this, honestly. 100 Things to Do Before High School. I never saw the show. I claim that I never got a chance to watch it, and I still have not gotten a chance to watch it. And it's probably for the best, because it only lasted 1 season. I think that show is trying to do what Ned's Declassified did. Bella and the Bulldogs, again, I did see this show. I did actively watch it, like Henry Danger and Nicky, Ricky, Dickie, and Dawn and the Thundermans, so that was another one I watched. That one is debatable, whether it was good or not. I remember very little. about it. Make It Pop, I stick with what I said. Only saw one episode, and that was it. I think they did like a special. They either did a special or one last season at the beach, I think. Also, I still don't know where the hell the show was supposed to take place. Was it like a Zoe 101 thing where they lived at a school? I just remember the way the building looked. I gotta say, that was a weird looking building, still to this day. Like, thinking about it now, it was weird. So the next section was the preschool section, what was airing on Nick Jr. We're skipping over that because obviously there's no reason for me to look at it. I don't watch Nick Jr. I swear I don't watch Nick Jr. I think I made comments on it originally, but we're just going to skip over it, and we're instead going to go straight to the miniseries and specials. Kids' Choice Awards, always fun to watch, you know, when they announce all the awards. Kids' Choice Sports, I'm seeing a lot of promos for that, and it's like, I don't care. I know why they took this. I don't know why they took the sports section off the Kids' Choice Awards originally, because it's just, there were only like 4 awards. I've never physically watched the Kids' Choice Sports Awards, but I mean, I'm pretty sure Cartoon Network had the Hall of Games, and I guess this is why they don't have Hall of Games anymore, because they got this. So, I mean, I don't know. I don't see a reason for it. It's just like a Kids' Choice spin-off or whatever. And the Halo Awards I've never seen, but that's on like Teen Nick. So, but I'm pretty sure I don't know what it's for, actually. The Kids' Choice Awards, I did like it. I did. I stopped watching it, obviously, because I'm a little older. I don't even... Alright, I do vote for it still. I think it's funny when I vote for it, just to see what kind of screwed up stuff they're nominating. I don't watch it anymore, not only because I'm older, but also because the winners piss me off. I'm finding it extremely hard to believe that SpongeBob wins every year. They've had cartoons nominated that are so much better than SpongeBob. I think Adventure Time and Steven Universe were nominated one year. I think even Gravity Falls. And they all were beaten by SpongeBob. How does that happen? Kids' Choice Sports. Yeah, I never watched it. I understand why they have done it, though. There was a category in the Kids' Choice Awards that focused on athletes. And I guess that was super popular, that it just became its own award show, essentially. They don't do it anymore. I don't think they do it anymore. The Halo Awards is something else I've never seen. I don't even know if they do them anymore. I don't think they do those either. I haven't seen anything about it. I think the last one was 2016. Educational series! There's only one of them. And it's Nick News with Linda Ellenby. I don't think that's how you say the last name. Nick News with Linda, whatever. I've seen some. It's alright. So I've seen a few when I was little. And that's it. Educational short series. This is ought to be a bit quick. Kids Prick the... I don't know if I've seen that. I don't know. Whatever. Worldwide Day of Play, I've definitely heard of. I think everybody has, so. Kids Prick the President. That happens occasionally. I never watched it, even when I was little. The Big Help, that's something that, honestly, you don't see much anymore on Nickelodeon. I don't think they do it anymore. Here's something else that they for sure do not do anymore, and I would know because it's September, and they always do it in September. The Worldwide Day of Play. It was a day in September where every Nickelodeon channel would shut down. If you went on Nickelodeon, there would be no shows, no movies playing. It was just a blank screen saying, go have fun outside. You know, even around the time when I was watching Noggin, which is now the Nick Jr. channel. When I was watching Noggin, Moose A. Moose and his friend Z the Bird would come on screen and say, what are you doing here? We're outside playing! Get a ball and come outside! They don't do that anymore, believe it or not. They have not done Worldwide Day of Play in more than 3 to 4 years, from what I remember. And they didn't do it last year, and they haven't done it this year. I don't think they did it the year before either. They don't do Worldwide Day of Play anymore, which is really fascinating. And now it's time for the acquired programming list. These are a list of shows that aren't entirely made by Nickelodeon, but are affiliated with them in some way. What is this one?
Digital online animation, Winx Club, no. Power Rangers, Dino Charge, live action. I don't know why Nickelodeon bought Power Rangers. It's kind of weird. What is this? So Little Time. What's that? Oh, that's the thing. Yeah, I know what that is now.
Well, I remember Winx Club was a bit popular on Nickelodeon. I never saw it, so I got no comment. Power Rangers Dino Charge. Believe it or not, Power Rangers, I think, is the first property where Nickelodeon ever said, you know what? We've done everything we can with this. I think it's over. I know somebody else bought Power Rangers. I can't think of the name on the top of my head who bought it. But I do know it's no longer owned by Nickelodeon. They don't make any more Power Ranger shows. At least from what I understand, they don't. They definitely did not stop after Dino Charge. This one's an interesting one. So Little Time. I have no idea what So Little Time is. I don't even think it was a thing on Nickelodeon. So I don't know. Which is interesting. I have no idea what the show was. Alright, now for the reruns. They were rerunning iCarly and Sam and Cat.
Reruns of ended original series. iCarly, never have seen it on Nickelodeon recently. Oh, wait, sorry. Scratch that. I saw it the other night. Oh, wow. Sam and Cat, yeah, it was alright.
Okay. That's a statement. This is where the interesting part comes in. Now we have upcoming programming. So it's been 5 to 6 years. So most of these shows would have already come out by now. Let's see which one's held up. For the Nicktoons, Pig, Goat, Banana, Cricket. This show very much came out. And it wasn't a fun show to watch. It did not look fun. It did not look good. Next up we have The Loud House. I'm surprised I didn't really have a comment on that. I guess because at the time it wasn't something I was able to click on, so I had no information on it. The Loud House, believe it or not, is probably one of the best Nicktoons since the early 2010s run of Nicktoons. I can honestly say The Loud House is extremely worth watching, and I'll dare say it's better than some SpongeBob episodes we get now. Welcome to the Wayne. It did start as a webtoon, and it did make its way to Nickelodeon. Unfortunately, it didn't stay on Nickelodeon very long. It was another one of those shows that was here, and then just kind of got kicked out. Because it wasn't SpongeBob. And here we have Skyrat, Super Macho Fighter, and Cupcakery of Doom. Well, Skyrat looks like a show that was supposed to air on Nickelodeon, but never happened. I think it was canceled before it had even aired. Super Macho Fighter was a proposed show on Nickelodeon. It was by the same guy who did El Tigre. Doesn't look like it went anywhere either. It's got the El Tigre look. And what was this other one? Cupcakery of Doom. Sounds like a strawberry shortcake show. Well, it looks like it was greenlit. So why haven't I heard of it? Also, why hasn't it aired? Cupcakery of Doom is an upcoming American animated web television series created for Nickelodeon and Netflix. So I guess that's why it's a web show. Is it? It is produced by Nickelodeon Animation Studios. It will premiere on July 10th, 2020. Well, at the time of making this, it's mid-September 2021, so I guess we just gotta keep waiting. Alright, now we have the live-action shows that were upcoming at that time. We have Talia in the Kitchen. I think that's the same production company that did Every Which Way. It did air. I don't recall how many seasons they had, but I never saw it because I wasn't interested in Every Which Way. Game Shakers! Game Shakers sucked! I didn't enjoy it at all. School of Rock, that did air. I think it aired for 2 seasons, and from what I remember, it was successful, kind of. I don't know why it was made into a TV show, but it happened. Roll Call, which I want to say maybe is what Drama Class became. Right? Is that what it's called? Nickelodeon's Drama Class? Drama Club, that's what the show is called. Nickelodeon, only a few months ago, aired a brand new show called Drama Club, which was about a drama club in a school putting on a play, and they had a football player part of the performance. I know that because of the trailers. I have not seen the show. However, just by watching the trailers, it looked extremely similar to another show about a drama club in a school putting on a play with somebody who has never acted before in a play. And it's on their competitor's network, or I should say their streaming site. Where I'm going with this is Drama Club looks extremely similar to what High School Musical, the series, looks like. Which I have seen. I have seen High School Musical, the show, the series. I gotta be honest, that itself is not completely horrible. It's not the best show I've seen, but it's an interesting show. It's where Olivia Rodriguez was born. The Wits Academy. I think that was a direct sequel spin-off to Every Which Way. That, I think, lasted a season. Smart Alec. Alright, let's see what happened with this show. Development history, September 26, 2013. Status previously in development. Taking a long time to develop, aren't you? Development stage, ordered to pilot. Description, a comedic look at the world of a kid genius. Kind of sounds like Jimmy Neutron. Alright, we're just going to assume nothing ever happened with that. Untitled Dan Koppelman project. Dan Koppelman. Wikipedia says the only Nickelodeon show he's worked on is True Jackson VP, which I know for a fact was before 2015, so it doesn't look like he did any other projects, so I guess it was canned. Finally, crime I don't know what crime I don't know what that word is. Procedural? I don't know. I mean, everything claims that from 2013 a show was being made, but it hasn't been on Nickelodeon. So I'm assuming nothing ever came out of this project. As for the acquired programming, there's only 2 of them. For the animated, we had Mary-Kate and Ashley in Action. I've never heard of it. Live action, we had Mysticons, which I think ended up being an animated show. Yeah, Mysticons was an animated show. I don't know why it was in the live action segment of upcoming programming. Well, now it's time for a part of this episode that I'm deciding to do because it fits very well with the theme of this episode. So we technically looked back at my review of what was on Nickelodeon at the time. I guess it only makes sense if we now check out what's on Nickelodeon now. Now, again, I have an idea what's on the network, only because I've been exposed to it for a little while, but I may be surprised. Maybe there is something that I have not seen before. And also we'll get a little insight to the future projects, the upcoming projects that they have. So I'm on Wikipedia now. Let's give it a check out. So we're going to check out everything up to the animated acquired programming when it comes to future programming. So we're not gonna go any further than that. Currently, the animated shows on include SpongeBob SquarePants, no-brainer. We also have The Loud House, a very popular show, a very good show. And we also have their spin-off, The Casa Grandes, which is not actually a bad show. It's actually very enjoyable. It's a little similar to The Loud House, but I don't personally mind it. It's a different take on the show, a different take on their universe, so I like it. It's Pony, the show about a girl and her pony friend. Never saw an episode, and I don't think I will. It's not really something I'm into. And it seems like they're also adding on Paramount Plus shows. At least that's what I'm assuming. Because I see you down there, Rugrats. Camp Coral, I think I may have spoken about it in the Rewild Sponge Out of Water episode. But I've edited that episode at the moment, and I think I took that bit out. I did talk about Camp Coral. I did see the first 6 episodes because if you remember, I had a free trial for Paramount Plus. I checked out Sponge on the Run, and then I checked out Camp Coral just for the hell of it. It's cute. I mean, we've seen something like this before when it comes to de-aging characters. I'm not personally into the idea of there being a baby SpongeBob show, or at least a 10-year-old SpongeBob show. I'm not personally into any spin-offs regarding SpongeBob. The Patrick Star Show is another one of these SpongeBob spin-offs. I have no idea why this was even commissioned. I don't personally think it was a good idea. I have seen the Patrick Star Show, and that's where that discussion ends. Middlemost Post and Rugrats 2021. I can summarize really quick. I've not seen either one of them. I mean, in regards to Rugrats, I've seen little clips, but I've seen nothing of Middlemost Post. I don't know what it's fully about. I know it's got something to do with a cloud and being a mailman. So it's kind of got breadwinner vibes. Alright, live action time. We got a few categories for live action. We didn't have that last time. One of the first ones is the comedy section. So these are all the sitcoms. We have All That, the new All That, that is, which has not aired for a while. I think that's saying something, especially since most of the cast members on All That, the new All That, they've kind of gone off to do different projects. I've seen like a few clips of the new All That, and they are not super funny. But I do like the Good Burger sketches that they still do. Tyler Perry's Young Dylan. I saw the pilot for Young Dylan because I wanted to see how similar to Fresh Prince of Bel-Air it was, because it's got a very similar premise. When I tell you how bad this show is, I did not laugh once. This kid's probably living his dream. He's making music. He's acting in his own show. And you know what? Good for him. Good for Young Dylan. I'm happy this little kid's living up his best life at the moment. That's fine. I don't have a problem with that. The show in itself is just not very good. And this is not just me speaking as an adult watching a children's show. Again, I only saw one episode, but everything I've seen of this show, it does not look fun. They write the Young Dylan character as this really thuggish, gangster, rude kid, which I get is maybe supposed to be part of the personality. If we're comparing it to Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, yes, Will Smith was very street, and this kid is showing that he's very street, but this kid is just rude. He talks back to the grown-ups, and everything is just fine. That's not Fresh Prince. This is not Fresh Prince. I was wrong. Danger Force, that's the spinoff of Henry Danger. I really like Henry Danger. I like the guy who plays Ray, Captain Man. Cooper Barnes, I think his name is. I haven't seen Danger Force, though. I'll be honest, I think I'm a little outgrown for the Henry Danger story now. But, I mean, you know, it seems to be very popular, and everybody seems like they're having fun on the show, so, you know, good on them. Side Hustle, I know of it. Doesn't really look amusing to me. It just looks like another show where they've taken online personalities and just gave them their own kids show. The premise is interesting. Drama Club, this is what we already talked about before. I'm not going to talk about it again. It just seems like the Nickelodeon version of High School Musical, the musical show, singing series show. It's a TV show. The Barbarian and the Troll, I haven't seen the show itself. I would catch the ending of it when SpongeBob would come on, when there's nothing else and I choose to watch SpongeBob because I'm that kind of person. I'll be honest, I like the idea that they did a puppet show. It looks like a really interesting show. It's probably not a very good show. I'm waiting for it to be canceled because it looks like it may not go further than a first season, but it does look like a very interesting show. It's set in the medieval times. Maybe I'll give it a try just to see if they sneak in any present day jokes that can relate to the kids nowadays. That'd be horrible if they did, but you never know. They're Nickelodeon. I know we got drama series. There's only two of them. There's Are You Afraid of the Dark and The Astronauts. Are You Afraid of the Dark is a reboot of the original Are You Afraid of the Dark from the 90s. This one seems to be taking a different take on the show, though, because it's more of a mini-series. From what I get, there's a continuous story that's told, and that's just the whole season. So I think season 1 was only 3 episodes, and I know last year they came back with it, and I think that was also 3 episodes, maybe 4. The Astronauts I have not seen. From what I know of The Astronauts, it seems like a very interesting plot, sending kids up into space. It seemed like a really intense, dramatic children's show, which is something you normally do not see. Game shows, we have Nickelodeon's Unfiltered, which came out around the time the pandemic was a big thing. You can clearly tell the pandemic heavily influenced it because I think it's literally filmed over Zoom. It looks really cheesy and strange, and just seems like a really kid version of one of those shows where they try to guess the person. I guess The Masked Singer I hate the fact I'm comparing it to that, but that's kind of what it reminds me of a little. Tuned In seems like a really interesting show. The game show where you answer questions to guess the certain Nicktoon that's being given to you. That seems really interesting. Unscripted series, even though this can be considered unscripted also, the game shows. The Substitute, I know that's been going on for a while. That's where a popular Nickelodeon star, or just a regular celebrity, they get into heavy makeup and they go to a school, they pretend to be a teacher. Top Elf, that's a Christmas game show, which is confusing why it's not in the game show section. Group Chat, that was an interview show with the girls that would later go on to do Side Hustle. I don't think that's going on anymore. Unleashed, I think, is an animal show. And NFL Slime Time. Hey, look at that. September 15th. I won't tell you what date this is being filmed on, but I'll give you a hint. It's been 2 days. I got no idea what this is. Nickelodeon does a lot with the NFL. Makes me wonder why they got rid of their Nick Gas station, their games and sports channel. I think all the NFL stuff and the game shows, since they kind of have well, they don't have a few, but I think they only got 3. But they're still experimenting with game shows, and they're definitely experimenting with sports stuff. I don't understand why Nick Gas is around anymore for this content to play on that network. I think it would fit very well, and it can get all that sports and live action stuff off Nicktoons network. I want to see some Rocko's Modern Life. We're skipping the preschool stuff. Let's head to the miniseries. So we have Nickelodeon Kids' Choice Awards, obviously. Nickelodeon Kids' Choice Sports, which is odd. They haven't done that in a few years, so I don't know why they're still saying it's going. And the Nickelodeon Holiday Specials. We'll get to the Nickelodeon Holiday Specials some point down the road of the Rewild series. Educational series, it's essentially the same thing. It's Kids Pick the President, Worldwide Day of Play, which I swear has not been on TV for the last few years, so I could have sworn it was over. Nick Helps, this is a new thing. I don't know what that is. Acquired Programming, Hunter Street, and Power Rangers Dino Fury. Well, I guess they're not done with Power Rangers, so let's just retract that comment. Hunter Street, I don't know where that's from. I thought that was a Nickelodeon show, but I guess it's not. Hunter Street looks pretty interesting. It's a dramatic mystery show. I've never seen it, but it looks really interesting. Animated shows. We have Alvin and the Chipmunks. Nickelodeon owns Alvin and the Chipmunks, I think, right now. It's been going on for a while. I don't personally like Alvin and the Chipmunks anymore. Lego City Adventures, they've experimented with Lego series, which aren't even stop-motion Lego series. It's obviously animated Lego series. Don't have a comment on that. Ollie's Pack, I could have sworn that was actually a Nickelodeon original. And the most recent part of their collection is the Smurfs. Because Smurfs. I could have sworn they also acquired Garfield. I think they own the rights to Garfield now, so I'm surprised that they don't have a Garfield show in the works. But then again, I haven't even looked at the future programming, so I don't know. Let's see. Oh, look at that. I was right. I spoke too soon. Here we go. What's coming up on Nickelodeon? What's coming up pretty soon? We have a show called Big Nate, which is supposed to premiere this month. Well, we're halfway through September, so I don't know about that. They have a Star Trek show coming out, which I've known about for a while. I don't personally know why Nickelodeon is diving into the world of Star Trek. Monster High, that's a property that's been around for a while, and I think a few Monster High specials have aired on Nickelodeon, so I guess they're doing an original series now. They're also diving into the world of Transformers. Okay. Adventures in Wonder Park, I'm pretty sure that's based on the Wonder Park movie that came out 2 years ago? Last year? No, not last year, because last year nothing was in movies. The movie theaters were closed. I could have sworn the Wonder Park series wasn't going forward because the movie didn't do very well, so that had something to do with it. Man of the House, Meet the Voxels? The Vags? Not even going to attempt anymore. I'm not going to butcher that word. I don't know what these two shows are. You can't really click them. Untitled Garfield Series, because we need that. Phoebe and Her Unicorn. Based on a children's comic strip. Alright, maybe. Maybe. Maybe not. Real Pigeons Fight Crime. Okay, well let's keep going after that title. I'm gonna skip the preschool section like always. Live action, we have That Girl Lele, which I've seen trailers for. It is airing pretty soon. It just kind of seems like a female version of Young Dylan, just with magic incorporated and magic. I'd honestly be surprised if they did not do a Young Dylan and That Girl Lele crossover at some point. Warped, I don't know what Warped is. Warped follows Milo, the beloved head geek and manager at a popular comic book store whose microsomes is disrupted when his boss hires the loud and excitable Ruby. Despite their differences, the two form an unlikely alliance when they team up to create the next graphic novel with friends Hurley, the pizza worker next door, and Darby, who has dreams of opening her own fashion line. Okay, maybe. I could see this being a Nickelodeon show, sure. Seems pretty interesting. Best of luck to you. I'm serious. That sounds actually pretty interesting for a children's show. Seems like something Nickelodeon would put together, so I don't know. We'll see how it goes, I guess. For the acquired series, we don't really have that much. We have an untitled Simon Fuller and Ryan Tedder musical series. Who the hell are these people? Simon Fuller is a British entrepreneur. What did he do? What has he done? Yeah, So You Think You Can Dance. The show created blueprints for musical series such as Glee and High School Musical. So is he I guess he's a musician kind of person, does something with music. Ryan Tedder. Who's Ryan Tedder? He's a musician. He does music. He's been on a bunch of singing shows. Alright. Finally, we have animated series ZJ Sparkleton. Well, that brings us to the end of this Wild Review Rewild episode. Hopefully you enjoyed this little insight of what Nickelodeon was playing back then and what they're playing now. When it came to looking over this episode of the Wild Review, I was actually really excited to do it, mostly because I captured what the Wikipedia page for the programming on Nickelodeon back then looked like, and now I'm able to do the same thing 5 to 6 years later. So it's really cool that I have a little time capsule for something that happened in 2015 that I can go back to and say, well, that ended up not doing very well, and that show ended up going on for a very long time. I thought that was pretty interesting and cool. As always, let me know what you think about these specific topics. Is there any show on Nickelodeon back then or now that you're invested in? Is there a show that you're not personally a fan of? What do you think of my thoughts about these shows? Do you agree with me? Do you think I'm in the right or the wrong? I'd love to know those thoughts. Let me know in the comments below. And again, let me know if there are any specific Wild Review episodes you'd like me to check out in the future. Maybe I'll take a look at them in a future Rewild episode. That's gonna do it for this Wild Review Rewild episode. Thanks for watching the Wild Review. I'm the Wild Reviewer. And you just saw me review a thing. I almost choked on my own saliva. Best way to end an episode.
Wild like wild.
But I don't watch it anymore. I actually get upset. That's a bug. Excuse me as I kill a bug. Cool. This is exactly what I need today. Tried doing this bit like 3 different times. Come here, little guy. Get on. Get on. No, get on. Get on, get on, get on, get on, get on. Get on. I got him. 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 I just want to talk about the Kids' Choice Award. Is that all? Can I just do that? Can I do that? Please?